welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with Dr. Olawole Kuti, and we're going to be talking about powering Africa with clean energy. I'm so excited to be speaking to Dr. Kuti because his area of research is in clean energy. And also about 4 weeks ago, I did a recording with Mr. Dion Brown, and we did talk about sustainability. And one of the ways to really achieve sustainability is to to generate our energy, to generate electricity through clean energy, especially renewable energy that we have a lot in Africa. And apart from really talking about renewable energy or clean energy today, we're also going to be talking about other issues such as some of the things Dr. Kuti is really into, like virtual reality. How important is it? How can it help us in teaching and learning? We're also going to be looking at collaboration, very, very important, especially when we're talking about capacity building or development in Africa. So without wasting time, let's just dig in. So the first question I'm going to be asking today is from my guest, Dr. Kuti. I want you to tell my viewers about yourself, where did you grow up, the university you went to, and everything you'd like to share with them. Thank you. Over to you.
All right. Thank you, Professor Tosin Jabadeni. It's nice coming to your program, and I really want to appreciate what you've been doing, inviting people to from different spheres of life and coming to give talk, and thank you very much. My name is Olawole Kuti, and I'm a Nigerian, proud to be a Nigerian, but currently I'm residing in the United Kingdom. So I was born in Nigeria, and I had my primary school education up to university. And when I say university, I did my first degree and master's degree. And then 2007, I left Nigeria to Japan for my PhD. So I had my PhD at Hiroshima University. And and after my studies, came back to Nigeria, worked a little, and had opportunity to go for a postdoctoral fellowship at King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. And this really gave me an opportunity to work on collaborative projects sponsored by by Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco is the largest crude oil producing company in the world. And so it was a big opportunity, working in a university environment in Saudi Arabia, but as well working on projects funded by this big company. And so in 2014, I left Saudi Arabia and I came to the UK. And I had opportunity to work in at City University of London, working on projects sponsored by Shell Innovate UK. And that's in London. And then 2016 relocated to Manchester, where I'm currently working as a senior lecturer in mechanical engineering. And what else can I say? Okay, let me tell you a little bit about my family. So I'm happily married to, I always say my wife is the most beautiful woman on earth. Well, that's to me. And we are blessed with two big boys, and thank God for their lives. And that's everything about me.
Awesome. That's awesome. And also, today I was sharing on Facebook about the joblessness among PhD graduates today, and I'm concerned about that. And I know that you did 2 postdocs, one in Saudi Arabia, and also you did another one in the UK. Can you just give us tips, maybe 1-3 tips for people that are looking for postdoctoral positions overseas, maybe from Africa, how can they get a position from your experience?
Yeah, I think the most important thing about, looking for opportunities like postdocs or looking for opportunities maybe outside Africa is that, you have to make yourself accessible. And what do I mean by accessible? Most times when we're applying for jobs, we have to write, or have to submit your CV. Your CV gives a summary about who you are. And funny enough, people, they don't understand what it means to write a good CV. I had a similar experience whereby I wrote my CV, after my PhD, after, I did a lot of works, during my PhD. had opportunity working with, Mazda Corporation, Motor, they made cars, and we did a lot of nice, research, and, I had opportunities publishing. And now I wrote my CV and I asked a friend to look at it. And my friend just called me and said, "Oh, Kuti, are you telling me this is everything about you?" And I said, "What do you mean?" The guy just permit me to use the word rubbish. He just rubbished everything I wrote and said, "This is not the way to write a CV. You are not. People cannot really understand who you are." Okay. Now, he gave me some tips, and when he gave me the tip, I applied the tips, and I was able to write, to follow the tips and get a good CV done. And I started sending my CVs, all over the world. And if I can't forget my experience when I sent it to some big universities in the US, for example. And when they saw my CV, they said, "Wow, your CV is impressive." And some of them are saying, "Oh, that they are looking for a fund. One of them said, 'Oh, if I get a fund, I don't mind contacting you.'" Now I could really see a change by just following an advice by someone. I think your CV, showcasing ourselves, will make us to be accessible to the world. Now let's think of this: the world is a global village. Nobody cares about where you come from. But when you tell people what you can do, because when you have a good CV, people can see what you can do, what you can offer, So these are the things that people wants to see. Ensure you have a good CV. When you have a good CV, it makes it to be accessible to the whole world. Another thing I would say is this, is that try to see where you can collaborate with other people outside your locality. When I say collaboration doesn't necessarily, people always feel, oh, when it comes to collaboration, it's only things that goes on in the West. So if you are not in the UK, in the US, Canada, you can't do that. No, right there in Africa, look for people around who are in the same area of your field. Contact them, tell them what you are doing. Who knows, by telling them what you are doing, then they can even invite you to their laboratory, and then you spend some few months or few days with them. Your experience with them, if you put it in your CV, it goes along with sending information. Now, let me tell you about my experience. When I left Japan and I went to Nigeria, and when I was looking for postdocs opportunities, the person that hired me in Saudi Arabia, saw what I've done. He saw my publication, he saw what I've done, and because of that, I just said, "No, you already have a skill that I'm looking for in my research group. So can you please," okay, he arranged for an interview, and I was able to get that opportunity. Now, right there back in Saudi Arabia, when I was looking for, opportunities, maybe in the West, UK, US. Now, the person that hired me as a postdoc at City University of London, he saw what I've done. He saw my connections with other people, in areas that is related to his own field. Because of that, he arranged for an interview. And when he found out that I'm competent enough to come and work in his lab, that's how I was hired. So we've got to make ourselves accessible. That is one thing I would say. And try to collaborate with people, get in touch with other people in your field. Tell people this is what I'm doing. And when people see, when people see what you are doing or what you can contribute, they want to go for you. So that's something I will always enjoy people to do. And one thing I would tell people is that keep on trying. See, people always feel, "Oh, I've spoken to this person in this place and they are not." No, you can't just say you try. You made one application and that's it. No, keep on trying. Who knows, by the time you contact a lot of people, at least one person will definitely show an interest in what you are doing. That's something I would like to say. People.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You mentioned the importance of having a good CV, and I'm just remembering the importance of branding. You have to brand yourself very well. And maybe some people might need to contact you how to write a very good CV. Interesting. You also mentioned the case of collaboration is very, very important. Collaboration is very important. And people can also, attend conferences. When you attend a conference, you can meet people that you eventually work with. Somebody was telling me recently, that got an offer at Yale to come and do or is a postdoc, but he couldn't go because of COVID. And he was telling me that he met the lady at a conference, and they okay, you can just come. And so it's important for us to also attend scientific meetings and things like that. You can also meet people and collaborate.
Yeah, I cannot rule out that you said something profound about conference. Conference is very important. And when you go for conference, people don't go to conference just because you want to visit a particular country. Use it as an avenue to showcase yourself, meet people, introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to talk to people, whether white or black. Tell them what you are doing. Who knows, when you tell someone that, in fact, there was a time I went for a conference in the US, and I met a guy. I mean, I know this person is a renowned professor in my field, and the guy just came to meet me, and he said, he's looking for a postdoc. Fortunately, around that time, I've already secured a position somewhere. He said, he cannot ask me to come to his lab, and just because we met in a conference, and he just said, if you find some other people that would be interested, please let me know. The guy's in Australia, can you see? So those are good ways to link up with people, and that's a good way to to get opportunities.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's now talk about the main reason why we are here. We're talking about clean energy, talking about renewable energy. So I want to ask this question. So how can Africa, generate the power, that she needs to grow and to prosper without becoming reliant on unsustainable solution like coal?
Cool. All right.
How can Africa do that?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Professor Ijabadeni. Let's look at Africa as a continent. This is something we fail to realize about Africa. It's Africa, if you look at all the continents of the world, I would say that Africa is the most blessed, continent. What do I mean? I've had opportunities, living in different places of the world. And when I look at Africa, okay, I know I'm from Nigeria, and I've had opportunity visiting South Africa, you see that what we have as resources is enormous. Our resources is, we have a lot. But unfortunately, we know that we have problems with leadership. Let's think about what are the things we have. You talk about biomass. Biomass is a form of energy. Is a form. I mean, is a good material for renewable energy. When you say biomass, we are talking about materials from plants. We have a lot of plants. Okay, when I say plant, it could be. It's not just cutting down trees. We generate a lot of waste, which, if we harness that waste, it could generate, a lot of energy to power Africa. What about hydro? At least I'm familiar with what we have in Nigeria. We have this Kanji Dam, and there are some other some other places, within Nigeria and even outside Nigeria. We can talk about hydro. Okay, hydro, solar. Talk of any form of renewable energy. And apart from that, we have rare metals which could be used. Now we could see that we could see the trend. We could see the trend about energy generation in the world. There is a concern about greenhouse emissions, and that's why you see countries. Developed countries now, they are tending towards achieving a low carbon environment or zero carbon environment. Yeah. So, for example, UK, as Riley said, that by 2030, there is not going to be any form of energy systems that will be reliant on coal. Everything will be renewable. Okay, even up to cars now, they are promoting electric vehicles. And when we talk about electric vehicles, we are talking about cars that use batteries or hydrogen fuel cells. Now, it will interest you that the key ingredient for battery technology, okay, the potential. Africa has the highest potential. For example, the key ingredient for battery is cobalt. They use cobalt, lithium, and all. Africa has has the highest potentials, because if you look, of course, we can get all this kind of material from some countries. And funny enough, we don't really appreciate that we have this kind of thing. For example, in Congo as a country as they produce the largest amount of cobalt. Cobalt is the key, one of the key ingredients for battery technology. So what am I saying? What it takes to generate power, to generate electricity, to provide clean energy solutions, we have it in Africa. Let's talk about solar. Now, I read a publication whereby the person was analyzing the potentials that Africa has, and the person kept on, in the survey the person made, was talking about solar energy. We generate an amount of solar energy that if we harness that should be enough. All right. So we should, Africa should stop looking at, I'm not saying that, yeah, we can be looking at the developed country, but we can learn from their experience. Let's be like China. Now, if you look at China, you see the rate China is developing. You see that the rate China is developing is really at a rate that even Americans and all these developed countries, they're a little bit afraid, because they know that China is getting to a level whereby, they can be controlling the whole world. How did China get to that level? Okay, China, what they did was, you see that their best brains went to all these developed countries, and then you see after some time they started going back to give back. All right, and that's why I always tell people that when you see a Chinese in any developed country, don't just feel they've come here to just stay. Their plan is to go and give back to their country. So we have what it takes. Africa has what it takes to develop our technology, to harness what we have to create clean energy solutions in Africa. Coupled with that, we have all the resources. We have all the resources. It's unfortunate that we focus on one. Take, for example, Nigeria. I believe the government, they can realize that petroleum is not the way. Now, I've told you my experience about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, they are the largest producer of crude oil. Now, it will interest you. I visited Saudi Arabia last year. It will interest you that they've started changing their mentality, because Saudi Arabia realized that petroleum is not going to be the only solution for their economy. Now they started diversifying into other economies. Now they are trying, people always believe that Saudi Arabia is such a restricted country. You can't go there because, but now they started open up their economies, open up their country to other peoples of the world. They are promoting tourism. They are promoting, now why do you think that they are trying to tell the whole world that, see, the petroleum that we know we are producing in large quantity is not enough? And I believe that African countries should emulate such a thing. We should leave, all this. For example, petroleum is what we depend so much upon in Nigeria. Okay, why can't we look at other areas of energy sources because we already have the material? So I believe that we have what it takes. I believe we have what it takes to generate electricity. We look at if you look at Africa generally, you see that the people in the rural areas, they are always, they are always having big challenge of electricity supply. With what we have, we can generate electricity off grid. We have what is called off grid electricity generation. What do I mean by off grid? You can create, all the electricity that we generate, we always put them on what is called the national grid. And from the national grid, they are usually supplied to different homes. Now, those people in the rural area, they are a little bit far away from the city. We can create a system there in such a way that we can generate electricity off grid, whereby the electricity will now be, supplied to houses or locations within those rural areas. And those people in the rural areas, now you see that most people in the rural area, they want to come to the city. Whereas they are not supposed to be new like that. If you come to developed countries, you see some people living in areas that they will tell you this is rural area, and then you wonder this is not rural area. So these are the kind of things, these are the kind of ways that by which we can, Africa can be self-reliant. We have what it takes. We have what it takes in terms of resources. When I say resources, I'm not talking only about the natural resources that God has endowed us with, but we have human resources. We have what it takes. Okay, we have what it takes in terms of human resources, natural resources. But we've got to understand that we have this, but the only challenge I think we are still facing as a continent is leadership. So if you have good leadership, and when I'm saying leadership, I don't just want us to look at leadership as at only, from political point, political level alone. Leadership starts from our house, isn't it? So leadership, if everything goes on well in my house, it will go, in everybody's homes, it will affect what goes on in the, at the top level, from the political level. So leadership is a problem. If our leaders are doing what is right, I think Africa will be a continent that would be that would be envied upon. And let me tell you, the West, they know that Africa has this potential. It's not left for us to say this is what we want. Enough. I love what Ghana president did one time to the French, the French president, and was telling the French president, he was telling that enough is enough, whereby we'll be asking you to be giving us something. No, don't see Africa as we are always asking us. We already have what it takes. So the only thing you can do is that you can help us in terms of developing our own technology. That is the mentality we should be carrying, we should be having. The solution to our problem in Africa will be solved by us, not by the developed country. And until we realize that, we cannot have a way forward.
Absolutely. I agree with you. We need visionary leadership. It's very, very important for us to have leaders that have vision, leaders that are thinking about sustainability, leaders that are thinking about the future, leaders that are not thinking about themselves. We need political will. And like you said, we have a lot of all these renewable energy in Africa, so we don't have any excuse. The sun is always shining in Africa, and I can see things changing. I read about Bayero University in Kano. Currently, they are now generating electricity, and they are upgrade for the whole campus, for the students, and also for the staff,
that's
for the university. So if they could do it at Bayero University, and it's possible also in Morocco. Morocco now is also planning to export, to Europe, to Spain. And renewable energy. So Africa has the potential. We just need leaders that are, visionary leaders that are thinking about the future, leaders that are not thinking about themselves, leaders that are not thinking about their own investment, but they are thinking about the future of the country, I think that's what we need in Africa. And Africa can become exporter of renewable energy in future. It's possible for us to do that. Fantastic. I like what you just said. Your contribution is very, very important. And also trying to tell us what is happening in a place like Saudi Arabia, how they are also changing. They know that, the petroleum will not be there forever. A time is coming that it's going to stop. So they're already thinking about the future. And I think it's very,
even
very
the price of petroleum, you could say, is the petroleum price is going down because the West, the West, they're always, they are always looking forward to meet countries that have crude oil. But now, because they are thinking about the future in terms of, employing renewable energy, now you see the price going down. So that's why that should be alternatives. And we already have what it takes to be sustainable.
Absolutely. I like your, response. I want to ask this question from your own experience. Can you tell us how collaboration with universities in Global North can help African universities to develop their capacity or also improve their capacity?
Well, thanks very much, Professor Jabanini. Now, collaboration, you see, if you look at all the experiences I have got, you will see that it's not just me alone doing all this thing now. Everything is based on collaboration. And when I say collaboration, collaboration is a kind of win-win. It's a kind of win-win a game. Let me call it like that. I gain, you gain. Not only both of us gaining, we are even helping. Every other stakeholders are also helping. So, what are the benefits of collaboration? You and me can and I will agree that collaboration promotes what is called knowledge exchange. Knowledge exchange. What do I mean by knowledge? Knowledge knowledge exchange. Is something that is only done in the West. Now, it will tell the West they don't want to know what is going on in Africa. So if you're a researcher residing in Africa, you will, and you are able to get in touch with somebody maybe in the West. They want to collaborate with you because your environment is quite different from their own environment, isn't it? So it promotes what is called knowledge exchange. So collaboration, take for example, the currently doing a collaborative research with University of Johannesburg, and what we are working on is on virtual reality. Okay, now virtual reality, I've never worked on something like that before. But when one of my project partners just got in touch with me and said, "Oh, there are that we can apply for a fund through the UK government." The UK government is really interested in funding research in developing countries like South Africa, I think Kenya, China, no, not China really, Nepal, and all these developing countries that they find out that they are trying to, that they are really interested in developing, getting towards being called developed countries. Now, so my project partner just contacted me and said, "Oh, we can work on this project." And now, based on that, we submitted a research grant. And at the end of the day, we got a research grant. And then because of that, now I have never worked on virtual reality. If you look at my what I've done before, it's more related to energy. And do you know that it will interest you that when we're about finishing the project anyway, before the end of this year, do you know that I can now see the relevance of virtual reality to even what I'm doing as related to energy? Now, to ask me this question, if I have not collaborated with my partner from UD, will I have any experience about virtual reality and the application? No. So you could see there is a kind of knowledge exchange. In the process of, we are in the process of executing the project, we've shared ideas. I would tell them, that the experiences I have gained so far, when I'm working on the project, has given me a lot of ideas in terms of, I have to go and read a lot to say, okay, I think we can apply this method to this work, and coupled with the fact that we are even doing this project with someone in the industry, because the project is with University of Johannesburg and virtual reality in South Africa. So we have a project partner from the industry. Now, there is a kind of knowledge exchange, amongst us. So I cannot rule out the essence of collaboration. And it's easy. When it comes to collaboration, it's not something difficult to collaborate with people. I've just said earlier on that get in touch with people. When you go to conferences, just like you said about conferences, tell somebody what you are doing. Just tell them that, I feel I can contribute. We can collaborate in this area of research. I can bring this type of idea. And, before you realize it, if people realize that you can bring in something, they want to work with you. So collaboration brings what is called knowledge exchange. Then the second one is, now the whole world is becoming, it has even become a global world. Now you are talking to me, you are in Durban, I'm in the UK, and we can see each other. It's been a long time. Okay, I think we met 3 years ago when you came here for a conference. Now we are talking, isn't it? Now you can see that the whole world is now a global village. So when we collaborate with someone, it could be someone in India, China, America, Morocco, Ghana. One of the things that kind of collaboration could lead to is what is called internationalization. Okay, you see yourself, you are not, when you are collaborating with someone, you are not looking at one another as if, okay, I know I'm from Manchester Metropolitan University, you are in Durban. We see ourselves as colleagues, we see ourselves we are treating ourselves like saying that there is no barrier, between us. So internationalization, it enhances what is called internationalization. And that is what the whole world is tending towards too. People want to collaborate with. It will interest you that the UK government, they've realized how important to even be relating to developing countries of the world. And that's why they are putting funds on research. And that, I mean, for example, the work where, I mean, the project we are doing is being sponsored by the UK government. So, so that is the benefit of, you know, of collaboration. And I always encourage people to look, to collaborate with others when it comes to research.
I like that. I like that. You know, I can pick three things from there. Collaboration, we produce knowledge exchange. We also have internalization, and ultimately, there's going to be capacity building development, because you guys are going to gain, you're going to benefit from the whole process. You know, you now know about virtual reality. Now, I'm going to my next question. You know, how can virtual reality, you know, help in teaching and learning? That, you know, you told us about collaboration, that collaboration is very, very important for knowledge exchange, very important for internalization, and ultimately is going to lead to capacity building. You guys are going to be knowledgeable in new information. Like now, you now know you are versatile now in virtual reality. Now, and I'll say my next question is, how can virtual reality improve teaching and learning? Can you just tell us?
Oh, thanks very much, Professor Jabadeni. I mean, virtual reality, let's ask ourselves, what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a kind of technology where you can create a kind of, we call it a simulated environment that could be real. And it can, I mean, it can be unreal at times. Now, think of this. Everybody likes playing video games. I think all kids like, my kids, they love playing video games. And I believe all kids like that. So if you are playing a video game, that's a typical way of, I mean, that's virtual reality. All right, you see people playing soccer. I mean, using Xbox, and that is what virtual reality is all about. But if talking about the project we are doing, virtual reality, why did we embark on that virtual reality project? The virtual reality project that we embarked upon is to enhance teaching of engineering in schools in South Africa, because the work is for the South African schools, and that's why my partners, you know, two of them, they are in South Africa, right? So now, why teaching of engineering? And it's not only engineering; it could be applied to all forms of teaching. Now, to enhance teaching, you know, we've got to think about, how do we enhance teaching? Because when you are teaching, you've got to think about your students. Your students are the recipients. And if your recipients, that is your students, they are not achieving learning, then you just realize that what you are doing is just a mere waste of time. You know, I mean, we are all familiar with going to class and then you have a professor going to the board and writing. I mean, technology has gotten far. I mean, has got to a level whereby you've got to think about, how does your student engage with you? So this project we are working on is on, how do we enhance teaching of engineering? And you can imagine, if you are teaching some complex topics, for example, if I'm trying to teach a student about what is called a milling machine, and the student have never seen a milling machine, okay? You can use that virtual reality, you know, you can use what is called virtual reality to enhance the teaching. Now, it involves the use of something like an headgear. You have to put on something like an headgear, and I mean, you can imagine you put something, just the way I am using my glasses. You put it on your face, and then you start looking at, you know, you start looking at some. For example, I talk about milling machine. Milling machine is used a lot, you know, in metalworks. Now, the student can see how the milling, a particular this type of machine operates. And when the student sees such a thing, it goes a long way, you know, helping the student to understand the principles. Okay. Take, for example, I mean, you are a microbiologist, and I know you teach a lot of bacteria. And I mean, well, I'm not your field. Permit me to just some things.
Bacteria.
If I'm right.
Bacteria. Yeah. Bacteria is true. I will be teaching bacteriology now. After my recording, I will be teaching bacteriology.
Now you want to explain to your students how a particular bacteria behaves. Okay. Now, if I mean, you can use this virtual reality technique in such a way that your student will put on a kind of headgear, and then if you are interested in one of particular bacteria, you are trying to describe the morphology and some of the stuff you always talk. Now the student can have a feeling, you know, can see, can relate to the bacteria you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And by doing that, your student is going to achieve what is called learning. So it's just a way to enhance, you know, to enhance teaching, and that's what we have been trying to work up to do in this project. So that's the way I mean, that's the level where, you know, teaching is tending towards to. Okay. Now, take for example, now I mean, with this COVID of the thing, everybody that's locked down in some places. Now, if you can imagine, if your student, they are outside South Africa, you can teach them something, and then they can have a feeling about what you are teaching. So how can they achieve that? Virtual reality is a good way to achieve that.
I like that. I also like the way you really use the video game, you know, issue of playing video games to really describe virtual reality. It makes it clearer for people that, you know, that are just new to virtual reality, and young people like it. So if you cannot implement it or apply it in education or in teaching and learning, they will understand, you know, the curriculum better. You know, I think it's a very good idea, you know, virtual reality. What's your closing remark? You know, today I've really learned a lot from our discussion. So what's your closing remark for us today?
All right. Well, in closing today, I want to tell everyone listening to our discussion that we all have what it takes, you know, to make the world a better place. You know, people always say, well, I don't think I have the skills. And one thing that people fail to realize is that we are all blessed. Nobody is inferior. Okay. Now, I'm an engineer, you're a microbiologist, and you see that even though our fields are quite different, all right, which I mean, I still believe that could be something that is common. Common. No, we are all blessed. We are all unique. And we also need one another. Like I told you my experience about virtual reality. I've never worked in that field, and somebody just came up and I was just wondering, oh, is it possible? And then later I just realized that, wait a minute. This person has introduced me to something that I never knew is possible. Okay, so that we are all unique. We are all have one or two things to contribute. And also, I will encourage someone there that, you know, people always say the sky's the limit. I don't believe the sky is the limit. All right, we've got to, with hard working and with God on our side, you can do all things. You can become, you know, you can become an expert in your field. Okay, by God's grace, can you imagine? I was telling my boy this morning, I said, see, it's good to be hardworking, but at the same time, we need God's factor. And that when you are hardworking with God's factor on your side, people will be looking for you. 2 weeks ago, I just got a mail from a university in India. They just said they read my work, and I saw they are looking for external examiner to come and examine their student. I've never been to India. The person said, oh, because I've done this, and then they look at my profile and they said, okay, you can examine our student. That's how I became an external examiner. I didn't introduce myself.
Absolutely.
Right? So can you say, so what am I trying to say is that we all have what it takes. Let's try to showcase ourselves. Don't let us be inferior of what we are, because what you think you don't have, if you really think very well, you realize that it could be a benefit when you showcase it to everyone. And talking about Africa, I believe Africa is a great continent. No, thank God I'm living in the UK. That's fine, you know, but I'm always saying that I'm proud to be in Nigeria. I'm proud to be in Africa. You know why? I don't want to see, you know, people always have this kind of should I call it soft spot or a kind of sympathy for Africa. They always feel Africa is a poor continent. No, Africa is not a poor continent. We have what it takes to be great. I've looked around and I kept on, it baffles me a lot that why are we not appreciating what we have in Africa? Okay, so we have what it takes to make ourselves great. Of course, we know the problem we are having is leadership. Leadership is our problem. And I was really touched by a discussion I had with a friend, and was telling me about leadership. He said leadership is made of three things, three C's. The person called it three C's. He said competence, connection, character. Competence, connection, character. And when the guy told me, and I started looking at myself, I said, competence, connection, character. Those are the three things that makes a leader. And I believe if our leaders, and if all of us can apply this to our life, it will make life easier for us in Africa. Africa will all have what it takes to make it. And I just want us to to realize that. And above all, I just want to say a big thank you to you, Professor Jabadeni. You are doing a good job. I really want to appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
I've seen some of the videos you've made with other people, and I mean, you've seen people, you invited people on your platform, and you could see that those people you've invited, you could see that they all have what it takes to make our society to be great. And I believe there are so many other people there listening to our discussion. We all have what it takes to make our nation, to make our continent great. And I just want to say a big thank you for organizing this type of talk.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I mean,
it's going to be our take-home lesson today, that what you just said, we all have something to contribute. We all have something to offer. We must never forget that God has deposited a lot of, potential in us. We must make a difference in our world. We have the DNA of the Almighty God. Accept what is in God, and we must go out there and be the light and be the change. Want to see. Thank you so much, Dr. Kuti, for really taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me. I am grateful. I am grateful for what you've been able to do. Because I know you are so busy. You're so busy, with your work. But you really found time to do this. I'm glad you were able to do it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and congratulations on your new book. I'm looking forward to get a copy.
Thank you so. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And now to our viewers, you've heard it all. Africa has a lot of renewable energy to power the continent. We have no excuse not to, exploit the renewable energy that we have. Not only must we begin to think about exploiting the renewable energy that we have, we must also have a vision to export it to other continents, to other countries. We can do that. And we have also learned the importance of collaboration today. And Dr. Kuti has also told us, if people are looking for postdoc, opportunity elsewhere, what you should do. I like him telling us about the importance of having a good CV. We have also talked about the importance of virtual reality. As Africans, we must always try and think about the fourth industrial revolution and think about how we can use them, to make our society better. I'm sure you've learned one or two things from today's episode. I want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. See you next time. God bless you. Bye.